On the chats, wave, say hey if you can hear me, somebody. I'm still learning this darn thing. Wendy, I see you're on. Why are you not, I don't see you at the bottom. Say hey. Oh, don't tell me I did something wrong. Why is this? Great, my light doesn't work either. Wendy, where are you? Hands raised, what does that mean? Oh gosh. I was hoping we'd have our act together today. I see you and hear you, but you are not hearing me. Right. The only people that I'll be able to, you can do the chat so I can see you, but you can't hear, I can't hear you. The only people you'll hear is me, Wendy, and Lisa. Although Wendy's on and we're not hearing her, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Unless she signed on with a different email. Does that put that in? Darn it. I'll call her. I had all good intentions of us having all our ducks in a row before 7 o'clock started so that we would all listen. My apologies. Get caught up with the kids talking about Interstellar. Did you guys see it? Anybody see it? It was really, really good. Yeah? You can't hear me. Laura says that she sees me and hears me, so she can. A new screen. Oh gosh. But did you sign in with the right? You might not have signed in. Hold on. You have to be signed in with. Let me tell you which email I put you under. With whenrocks@hotmail.com. That's what you're signed in with. Huh. Oh, gosh. Technology. Oh, it's not my friend.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know what happened. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I sent out the attendee. I sent out the link this afternoon kind of late, so it's very likely that people didn't check their emails or give up on me, but I apologize. Wendy, you want to introduce, share with everybody what's going on, what we're doing, so that we can be ready to go? You're on mute. You're muted.
Sorry, I should be good now. Yeah, I was sorry. I was expecting Lisa to do this, and I just got a message from her saying that she lost her connection. So what we'll be doing is we will be receiving source energy, a healing. It's very intense and also quite beautiful. What you need to do is just, first of all, remember to breathe. Breathing is very important. And be relaxed, but sit up so that your back is, your spine is straight. And enjoy the ride. Anything you want to add?
You can lie down, sit up, either way, whatever is more comfortable for you. If anybody has any questions, say them now before we start. You have to, again, you have to use the chat on the right side. So if nobody has any questions, we'll start. I'll give you a minute to type. And plus, they're hearing us a minute from the time I said it, so I always forget. Remember, when I say chat now, they're not hearing me till a minute from now, and then by the time they type and I am going to try something just because I want to see if this works. What do you see on your screen now? See, now I can't see.
I see the PowerPoint.
Okay, but it's not the whole, darn it. You, okay. Okay. That was what I was intending to have as our greeting while we're waiting for people. Okay, is my chat working? Yes, Colleen, we see your chat. Oh, and Wendy already answered you, so cool. Okay, all right. And my light went out again. Okay, so we didn't get any questions from everybody, and my light is acting up. All right, so I will say my prayer. I will get myself centered and allow the energy to come through. I guess you don't need to look at my chest. And your job, everyone, is to receive. And afterwards, then we'll have some Q&A. Oh, Amanda had questions, and I don't see her on here. Darn it. Oh well, if anybody else does. Okay, here we go. I'm feeling some tense shoulders out there. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaws. Inhale. As you're ready, come on back. If you'd rather stay in this space, that's okay. Go ahead and just shut off your computer or cell phone or whatever, however you're accessing this. It's still going though. Like that. We're ready for questions. Or comments. Did we lose people? Is anybody still there? I'd love your feedback or comments or questions.
So I put something in the chat to see if anybody would respond that way.
Maybe they're all spinning still. How was it for you, Wendy?
It was very like normal, just like very intense and very loving, just an incredible feeling of love. And I didn't feel tenseness in my shoulders, but I didn't sleep, great last night, but I could feel the tightness in them loosening and
Oh,
and a great sense of calm and serenity. And actually, I was asking Lisa. Lisa was texting me saying, I want on because there's something wrong with her computer. So I was thinking about her during part of it, and I asked her if she felt anything, and she said yes.
cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Laura says she's here just floating. Boy, wait, has a mind of its own. Oh, wow. Okay. I
So
don't
I kind of have a question. This
Okay.
just popped in my head. About that movie that we watched yesterday, and the relativity and the time space, the quantum physics. Is any of that's what they showed us yesterday possible?
As far as the space program or as far as the bending time?
The bending of the time, and the whole fact that I'm thinking particularly, and I'm sorry for those of you who haven't seen Interstellar, um, but where he was in the black hole and seeing life in a different galaxy.
Okay, hold on. I guess during the film, personally, as Karen, I was like thinking, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go and do that. Once we leave here and you don't need a spacesuit and everything, I'm like, that would be so cool. Like a roller, better than a slide or a roller coaster. Okay, but let me see what source says. Hold on. They're saying that is only the beginning. That is how can I say, the gateway to a million other experiences.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I know that's not very specific, but
Right.
um,
But see, I take that as a positive.
mhm. They're saying something about our heart, it's in the heart, and I'm not sure what that means, but our it, we kind of get held back, and partly because clearly we're in a physical body, and
Mhm.
but that there's it's not quite fear. There's a sensation that or an emotion that kind of holds us from understanding all of that. So actually, that's interesting because in the movie, oh my goodness, remember in the movie, Anne Hathaway said that they should follow the um, the science, but also
Heart.
consider love, the
Yeah.
emotion. So yeah, that's interesting because now when I'm asking the question, they're talking about the heart, and that's where love lives.
Yeah.
So there's something. So if scientists could access their own heart centers in when they're doing their calculations and however they figure out what they figure out, they I bet you they could expand their understanding and the science could move along much quicker. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. So love is the answer.
Love is the answer. The Beatles, I always say the Beatles had it right all along. Okay. Any question? I can't hear you. It's like you're underwater, warbling, can't make out words. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Caroline. When do you have to re-say everything? What are you referring to bending time? Is this something that can happen in lifetime or afterlife? I'm not familiar with the movie. Okay, bending time, our understanding, my understanding, is that the way that beings from other galaxies, planets, wherever they come from, that they have figured out how to bend time. And I don't understand it, but if you look at a two-dimensional, if you have an X marks the spot, where's the camera? Where am I? Okay, so you want to go from here to here and say that's, 50 galaxies away or a billion miles away or however that. So what they do, bend time, is instead of having a distance between, they take this spot and bring it together via a black hole. And so you only have to traverse the black hole. You don't have to actually do the distance from here to here. Does that make sense? And that, I mean, that was in the movie, but that's part of quantum physics. I mean, they're exploring all that. That's what they think that these black holes are.
Holly has a question about does it take more effort to do group healings, and does it take away from others as the list grows? Is it better to focus on individuals?
Um, my my guides are saying that they are standing ready, rank upon rank, to provide all the energy that is needed to help all the people that we can. So no, it does not hurt anybody. I mean, clearly, like when I said about the shoulders, I wasn't tuning on anybody in particular. I just could feel that there were tough shoulders, tight shoulders, that there was a jaw, that there were jaws. I mean, it might have been one person, it might have been several people. Um, but we're really not focusing on one-on-one type of healing, but the energy flowing through. And that's why, it's kind of why I go off camera, because my body does kind of weird things as it's coming through me, and I don't want to freak anybody out. So, all I'm doing is allowing it to flow through. But the guide, source, angels, whatever term you want to use, they are there. I mean, I can see them rank upon rank, and they're like, "Oh no, we're ready. We can handle it. We're going to do it."
I'm just trying to help Caroline know what's going on.
Okay. 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 All right. Getting back to somebody else had a question. Oh, Laura, is this something that can happen in lifetime or afterlife? Okay. So yeah. So in lifetime, science is trying to figure that out. And afterlife, of course. The universe is infinite, and I personally, I'm so excited to travel. I can't wait to go to all these places and see things. And of course, because there are all these other dimensions beyond the three that we are accustomed to here on Earth, the way that that happens is going to look different, um, and how we experience it, I'm assuming will be different. But to me, it's all an adventure, and I guess we'll see when we get there. Does that help you, Laura? Now there's light
I
again. Okay, Laura, if you could eh, respond if that answer, if you're still on, I guess I can look at the attendee list, can't I? And if anybody else has any questions or comments or feedback, um, Laura's still there. Doesn't Wendy look like she's in a spaceship with the lights behind her like that?
am in a spaceship. I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I have had meditations where I go someplace else. Where is that someplace else?
Yeah. It's so right. So exactly like what you're exactly. We don't, and you don't need to know the address, like what planet it is, or what galaxy it is, or what dimension it is, but you know that you exist in some place, in some way, outside of your body. This is some type of similar traveler. Yeah, and where are you? Yeah, so where are you going there? Who knows where you're going? It's the same, similar. When I'm working with somebody, often if I meet one of their guides and to introduce them or whatever, the person here will say, well, what is their name, the name of the guide, and their names, like their proper name, is like a mile long with syllables and consonants that I can't even pronounce. So they'll say, one, that it doesn't really matter what their name is, and two, you could just call them Bill. So my point is that what we take as being important here, like having a name, knowing somebody's name, isn't as important there, because energetically, if I call on my guide, regardless of whether I know his name, he hears me. So the same, if I go somewhere, regardless of whether I know where it is, I'm still there and I still exist and I still experience that. Okay, do I get messages for certain people just out of the blue? Oh yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Um, Sometimes I get dreams, or I'm just with somebody and get hits. Do you, Colleen? Laura is always an experience with a purpose for my journey. Is this possibly the same? As always, is this the same thing? I would have to say that all of our experiences are learning. I'm trying to tune in particularly. Laura, hold on a second. They're showing an emergence of you emerging, kind of like Diana, on the shell on the sea, that you always see of her on a big shell with foam underneath. That's how I'm seeing you. So your particular journey is, I mean, all of us are emerging and growing and developing, but that's what they're showing specifically for you, Laura.
That's awesome.
And so Lisa never made it on, huh?
No, she said she was connect. She said that she was on, and then she lost her connection.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. But Holly, did we get your question answered? I think we did, didn't we? pretty sure. I just want to make sure that she says.
The only other part of it that was is like, what is the most efficient and effective way to help many? That was the only part that we didn't talk about.
Okay. Well, this is one. But a really powerful thing is prayer. We know that because they've done studies that prayer works not only for the here and now and for the future and for other places, but it also works retroactively. So time is not a factor in prayer. And one of those studies where they would have people in meditation and prayer in a community, and the violence and things would go down during that time. And they figured out that the number is roughly 1 per 1,000. So if you have a city of 100,000 people, and you have 100 people at any one time saying prayers, the whole community is going to change. So your prayers are can affect 1,000 people in an organized way. But any prayer that high energy goes out to the universe and raises everything. So on the one hand, you don't want to think about it as being 1,000 people. Gosh, this light, I'm just turning it off. Hold on. Let me get sources answer. I know question. What was the question? Oh, organized, efficient. Oh, they're saying prayer, and when you call on your ancestors and guides behind you, they help to make what's coming from you stronger, because they're the line behind you pushing. They're showing that it pushes it, it makes it bigger. So if as you start your prayer with the intention of calling on your ancestors to amplify that, that would increase your efficiency.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll give another minute if anybody else has any questions or comments or feedback. And if not, then we'll just say goodbye to everybody and see you next week. I sent you the link that I sent you, even though it says on there that it was just December 14th. That same link will work for the rest of this month, so December 21st and 28th, I guess that would be. And I hope you'll come back and visit with us again. And I'd love to hear how this energy floats with you through the week. I had a friend of mine on a couple of weeks ago, and this is new to her. And during the call, she didn't feel anything. But the next day, she texted and she said, I woke up and everything was different. So who knows how it will affect you. All right. Okay. I don't know if the chat is instant, you know?
Pretty instant.
It is? Okay. Although I asked for the final, but it takes them a minute to.
Oh, here comes.
Okay. Yeah, see, we have to keep bearing in mind that they hear us a minute later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have our own little wormhole. Okay, I think I didn't know what this was to be about. Was this to receive healing and then talk about it? Okay. It's to receive healing. Yes. And then if you want to go ahead and leave, at that point, that's fine. But since we're already tapped into sources, we can also then ask questions about, about our life, our existence, about our universe of source, and see what we get. Because I don't always think of good questions. So for me to ask them, I have my own way of like what works in my head and what I want to understand. So when you ask, then I can ask questions that maybe I hadn't thought of before, or that maybe don't fit into my paradigm. So the more the people that are asking questions, that we can build a structure and a better understanding of our existence. So, but again, you don't have to stay for that part. You can just do the healing part and leave. Okay, what is the best way to stay connected to those we have loved and lost, especially during the holidays? Oh, what a beautiful question. Okay, let me see what source says. Hold on. Back in the heart. It's all about the heart and love. So when people say, we breathing humans say that we've lost someone, the loss of connection is on our part. We're the ones that let go. The, the beings, our family, friends, our loved ones that have passed over, oh, I'm seeing so many. They're all like clamoring at once. Say it, say it, say it. Um, they the love from them, the connection from them still comes to us. It's us and our physical that we don't feel it, we don't accept it, or I don't know if accept is the right word, but we're the ones that have shut it off because in our heads we're like, oh, they've passed on, they're in a box, I can't touch them, I can't hug them, I can't, have a conversation with them. But in reality, you can feel that love and connection if you allow it. And often, and I'm sure many of you have had this experience, if you ask for a sign, something will show up, something little, sometimes something big, and you'll go, oh my gosh, I know that was Grandpa. But you have to open your eyes and look. Does that answer you, Bobby? Oh, especially during the holidays. Yeah, that can be a hard time when you're missing them. I don't know if this is for particularly you, Bobby, but certainly somebody. Oh my gosh, it's so strong. Somebody has not. Somebody needs to do some more purging and crying about the loss of someone. Um, so whoever you are, go ahead and do that. Allow yourself. I mean, if nobody else is home, if you don't want to do it in front of anybody, find the time and allow yourself to just howl to the heavens, cry and let that out and feel. And as you purge that sorrow, let it go out to the sides and at the same time feel that loved one's love for you coming into your heart and replacing that sadness that you're releasing. Whew. Whoever this is, you got to get back to us and let us know how. Oh, it's so strong. Have the best trust that you receive. Prayer, 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 prayer. Connect to God, and if God is not your thing, source, creator, creation, um, aligning yourself with the light is your first step because then you are telling the universe that that's what you want. You want to be connected with the light and that you want your ego to kind of take a break. So that's your first step, and it's a process. Um, I do a class on that. I'm trying to think if I could do that class in a minute here. Um, hold on a second. Laura, do you do any kind of what's the word? Like kinesiology, body testing? What is that called? What's the words? I'm losing words.
Muscle testing?
Muscle testing. But people do it like with their fingers, or with like they'll stand and they can feel forward or back. And people, okay, this is the key. The key is to learn where it is in your body that you're going to feel it. So what I teach in the class, and I'm telling this in a second here, but you ask a question that you know is true and see where you feel that in your body and practice with that, and then say not ask a question, make a statement that is true, see how it feels in your body, then make a statement that is absolutely not true. And by absolutely not true, don't say I have two sisters, because in reality you don't know how many brothers and sisters you have, because we have so many missing twins, and you could be talking about universal brothers and sisters. So don't say something that could possibly be true or not true. It has to be something absolute, like the car that I drive is a black Nissan. That's true. What's absolutely not true is the car that I drive is a red Ferrari, unless you're lucky and have a Ferrari. But say something that's absolutely not true, and then see how that feels in your body. And as you practice with those back and forth, you're going to recognize when it's truth, how it feels, and when it's not truth, how it feels. So practice with little things like, again, like what you drive and your earthly name and what you had for breakfast, and just simple things so that you develop that skill. And yet other times the messages are very clear. I want it clear all the time. Ha! Good luck on that one. I don't know why sometimes it's more clear than others. I think that there's a lot about learning and accepting. Oh, Bobby, you know, your kids need to purge as well. I think children, I think your children need to purge too, however that looks like. I have a dear friend that she lost her husband. Her kids were fairly young, and where she lives, they have 5 acres, and she said her and the kids would go out in the back field and just dance and scream and kick and yell, and that's what worked for them. You might have to find something that you can do with your kids. Laura, yes, muscle testing, yeah. Again, practicing with what's a truth and what's a false, and you'll feel it in your body when it's true and when it's not true. So whether you're using muscle testing or whatever you're using, I don't do muscle testing or use a pendulum or anything. I just, because I can feel it in my body. But however, you got to practice, and so practice with truths and falsehoods, and notice how you feel in your body, and you'll get to where you can tell the difference. How do we allow abundance in? It's all in the heart, simply. So, as I'm asking that question, the best way to describe it is feeling the heart opening, and as you feel that opening, feeling like the things that hang on you, letting those flow away, and not that that's going to be a one-time thing, like you do it once and voila, you have abundance flowing in all ways, in all directions. Oh, loving oneself as well is a big one. Oh, I just heard got a quote. We had a Buddhist devotion the other night, and one of the quotes were, which one was it? Oh, you yourself, as much as anyone else in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. I'm going to say it again. You yourself, as much as anyone else in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. I know that that's really hard for us. I know it's hard for me, but I know it's hard for all of us. And Chris, I know that it's really hard for you. We have to practice that. And the key for me has been remembering that God is within me. And so if I don't love myself, then I'm not loving God. A way for me to love God is to love myself. If that helps you. Yes, Laura. Sometimes they're really good about signs, and other times they want to test you and challenge you and stretch that envelope. Oh, oh. Oh, yes. Laura, yes, that is a great quote. It's from Buddha. I think it was Buddha. Wait, hold on. Yes, Buddha. Okay, Bobby. Bobby, and your mother is at your head and your shoulders. I can feel she's right there at your head and shoulders above you. Relax, allow, and feel her. And she looks good. She looks really good. Joyful. She looks very joyful. Oh, Kristen.
Did you see the question about muscle testing? Do you have to be, is it important that you have no attachment to the outcome with muscle testing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it's challenging, especially or using a pendulum. It's so easy for our egos to get in the way. Okay. We'll wait another few seconds here if there aren't any comments. Oh, somebody went off. That's good. I'm glad. If you're ready to go, go ahead and go and serve yourself. But otherwise, we'll be here next week, and I hope you'll join us again.
I think we're good.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next time. And feel free to email me if you have any questions or comments or anything. Okay? Good night. Thank you, Wendy.
Welcome.